Hi friends, welcome to another casual, unedited garden stroll. We're gonna have to start getting a little creative with these garden strolls because I think we're sort of at the point where the garden isn't gonna look much different other than like a snowfall or something like that for a few months now. But I've got some things to talk about today, so we'll do that. I will tell you, first of all, that yesterday was an exciting day here, and let me tell you how I know I'm getting old. The neighbors had window washers next door, and so I ran over there and I said, do you guys have a card? Because we've never had our windows professionally cleaned, and that's fine. I'm more than happy. I got that done actually last weekend. I am more than happy to clean the first floor windows inside and out. Hold on a second, Darwin would like to come out. Okay, sorry about that. So I asked him for, long story short, we had the upstairs windows were put in because that's when we did our renovation 13 years ago. They have never once been washed properly from the outside. We do have those windows that I didn't even know this, but Mr. Much More Patient said you can kind of flip them in so you can wash like all but the one edge from the inside apparently, even though they're casements. I didn't even know that was possible, and I wonder why we weren't doing that more often. Anyway, they said, oh, well, I can give you a quote right now. And then I said, could you just wash the upstairs windows right now? And they did. So yesterday I got my upstairs windows washed from the outside, and I'm so happy. It's so funny. And the little things, I guess, are the things that get you excited when you're an old person, I guess. Maybe a young person too. Anyway, that happened yesterday. Okay, we have viewer mail, which is great. Thank you so much, you guys. So, okay, let's just go over the postcard project. Started, gosh, now it's got to be almost 3 years ago now, right? The whole idea of this was when you visit a garden, whether it be a public garden, a famous garden, a garden on a garden walk, your own garden, that you share a postcard or a card or a letter, whatever, of with inspiration from that garden that we can all share, because I always feel like the best inspiration, you can't hear, this is what's happening down here so you know what I'm doing. The best inspiration comes when we visit gardens, so why not share the love? And I've loved this project, and I love when you guys send stuff. The address is always in the description below. Okay, this is from Eileen. Hi, I recently visited my son in LA, and I toured two nearby gardens, Toscano and Huntington. Oh my gosh, Huntington is amazing. I have been to Huntington, and I had like, oh gosh, when was that? Oh, it's been a while now. I had about half a day in LA before I was starting on a trip, and so I went to Huntington, and half a day was not enough. It was just outstanding, especially the Chinese and Japanese gardens. I don't know if I visited. I must have visited those when I was there. Anyway, I visit often my regular gardens, Norfolk, Virginia Botanical, my home garden, Longwood, 1 or 2 times a year, nearby my daughter in Philadelphia, and the gardens in San Fran where my sister lives. But Huntington stands above them all for its unique beauty. Anyway, love your show. Keep the faith through the winter. Thank you, Eileen. I'm going to show you what Eileen sent here in a second. Pretty interesting that a person who visits all those fabulous gardens stands out for hunting. First of all, this is from Toscano Garden. This is the Japanese garden there. This is another one with the cherry blossoms in bloom. Oh gosh, we're gonna have to wait a while for cherry blossoms. Here's the flyer, or the guide. Heritage Oak Tour. Follow the map to locate 5 heritage oaks that are between 300 and 500 years old. Amazing. Okay, and then you gotta love the map. Holy smokes! Oh, it goes like this. That's not a small garden. Okay, and then Huntington. This is the Garden of Flowing Fragrance. This is the Chinese garden at the Huntington. And then here is the Huntington map and guide. There we go. Thank you so much, Eileen, for sharing that. I can attest to Eileen's recommendation of going to the Huntington. It's fabulous. One of the things I love, right when you walk in, there's a big rill that kind of goes down and levels a little bit. I have photos from that somewhere. oh, I just, water is so interesting, but that was a water like I've not seen before in public gardens. It was amazing. Let's go on a stroll here. I'm going to put this inside, but let's go on a stroll. So unfortunately, I did not have a video up Friday or yesterday, which is kind of what I've been aiming for. Seems to be a lot of people watching then, or more people, I think. I don't know. Because I'm working on it, and it's a fun one. I just haven't gotten to it yet. And no, it's not about making winter containers. Hang on, I'm going to turn this around because we got to have a talk. I know that's, if I'm a good YouTuber, that's what I'm posting now, is making winter containers. I will say, fortunately, I have done that video every year for probably 6 years now. So winter containers are kind of evergreen, literally and figuratively. So you can go, I'll link some of those videos in the description here, and you can go to those if you're looking for inspiration or structural. I do, there's several videos where it's like a real how-to of how I did it. Now, I don't necessarily do it all the same way. I used to do it all in foam, and since I used up my foam, I didn't buy new foam because I realized that was not really the most sustainable thing we could be doing. And I just wanted to make sure my microphone was on. That'd be a real bummer if it wasn't. So I don't use foam anymore. But structurally, you get the idea otherwise on those. So I'll link those below, and we will get to those. You guys, one of the things that happens here is that, well, I appreciate it when people say that I feel very real. That's a strange way to put it, but because I am. I cannot put on airs or act in any way. And there's a lot of people in this space who, they're a bit of a character. And I think that's fine. In fact, more power to those people for being able to do that. That's just not how I am. So this is very real time and very real life. And I am one of those people who cannot get too excited, even if it's warmer outside now than it will be when I'm doing this. And I'll complain about it then ridiculously. I can't get too excited about winter/holiday stuff until after Thanksgiving. So I will be working on that next weekend for sure, even though it's going to be very cold. But it's just not happening. I did spend the weekend sort of gathering materials, so that's something. You'll see some of that sitting here. So that's something. But I just haven't even had a chance to think about what designs are going to look like. So, yeah. Oh, I will show you one. Oh my God. Why am I so scatterbrained? This is why it's better for me to script these things or make some notes, because I do go all over the place. I'm going to show you one thing that I'm going to use in my containers that you might want to consider. But long story short, I am perhaps, not the most timely person when it comes to these things. It's very real time for me. And I appreciate you guys just rolling with that. You guys are very nice and give me a lot of grace on that, so I appreciate that quite a bit. Before I forget, let me show you what I'm talking about. All right, so this thing, it's sitting in the middle of my table right now. This is a solar light, and the solar panel is inside of this globe. This is from HoseLink. That's where I get all that stuff from. And I do work with HoseLink. I'll put a link to it below. And that is always marked as an affiliate link, because that is an affiliate link. But whatever, just so you guys have an idea. I've struggled with getting power to some of my containers. So this thing is really cool. It comes with a remote, and I can't turn it on for you because it's light out and it's a solar light. So I don't think you can, I don't know, this one, I don't think you can turn it on while it's light out. Anyway, you can change the color on it. It's got 15 different, let me show you the remote. It's got 15 different colors that it can be. Hi, Dorothy. We have a rosemary project coming. Okay, here. This is the remote right here. So these are all the colors it can be, including white. So, and you just change them with the remote, and you can set the remote for a timer and all those things. So I'm going to be using that in some of my, at least, well, I only have one of them. I'm going to be using that in one of my containers that I can't easily get electric to. And I haven't quite figured out how. I mean, it's going to go in the center as sort of a glowing orb. But just in case, and I think I saw that, I think they're 50% off during the HoseLink Black Friday sale. So in case you need a solar option, I've had it out here. It works great at night. It seems to be doing just great there. So that's been going really well. So in case you need that. Okay. The garden is pretty much as put away as I'm gonna put it away. Now we do have to move these pots. We're gonna do it today. It's probably not gonna happen until next weekend. These will get moved over to these corners over here. The fig, this is Little Miss Figgy, needs to get moved down to the basement. That goes into the dark storage with all the dahlias and the banana and stuff. But I like for that to get cold enough that we have full dormancy before. Do not come in this driveway. Do not come in this driveway. Here we go. Here's a delivery truck. You guys, every single delivery company, I have a thing that says, please don't come in our driveway. And he's gonna freaking run over everything. Oh my God, I better go meet him. Hold on. Okay, sorry about that. It's an office chair. This is an ongoing issue, you guys. We'll talk about it. I just don't want to respect that driver's privacy and don't want to stick a camera in his face. Okay. Anyway, I was just saying that I like the Little Miss Figgy to go fully dormant before it gets moved down there, so it doesn't try to keep growing, which is really tough on a plant when it's locked in a room with no light. So here I am working on, well, this is our Boy Scout wreath. We have a Boy Scout nearby who sells wreaths every year. So Boy Scout wreath got delivered. I've got some stuff. I've got some spruce bundles here. I picked up some more stuff yesterday. Boy, am I shocked at how expensive that stuff is. Everything's gotten expensive, obviously, but I am shocked by how much expensive that stuff has gotten. Probably gonna do a little bit. No, 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 no. Do not drink out of there. No, this is not. Oh, for God's sakes. Darwin, come on, man. This boy, I tell you, he was quite a surprise. I woke up this morning with a giant tongue on my face, Darwin, which was a surprise because dogs are not allowed upstairs. He has never been upstairs. It's really never been an issue. They just don't walk upstairs. And today he did. And then we had to figure out how to get him down the stairs. I mean, this is a dog who can't walk in a straight line because of his little neurological problem. He can't walk in a straight line on the ground, much less go down like treacherous stairs that I fall down usually once a year or so. Okay, so look at the, this is the origami Japanese maple. It's the last thing left with leaves, and they're just sort of, I mean, they're sort of crunched up on there, so they'll fall eventually, but I am, oh my God, it was the last thing to really turn color. I am just enthralled with this plant. This is from, Isley sent that, and I'm just so incredibly thankful for that. But what a beauty that is. Highly recommend that one if you guys are looking for. This is a Korean maple, I believe, and for me that's Pseudosibodium. I think it's Acer Pseudosibodium, right? Those are hardier, I think. I think I know that actually. So I actually prefer growing those to your basic Acer japonica. Okay, so what you'll see here is that basically leaves are more or less off the lawn and more or less in the garden. And basically, Mr. Much More Patient he likes to suck up the leaves of the lawnmower. And then he's often just sort of blows them into the beds, which is fine. Now, I don't love the beds full of leaves come spring because I've got this jumping worm problem. Otherwise, it wouldn't be an issue, but the jumping worm problem is an issue, and they feed on leaves. And so I've talked about this before, that I'm not really keeping a lot of leaves in beds anymore because of that. But for winter, this is a great layer of insulation, and the jumping worms the adult worms die when it gets freezing temperature. The cocoons overwinter, and so that's how they persist in your soil. So there are no jumping worms in there eating right now unless the ground is not, well, I guess there won't be when they're frozen, so they're not doing much damage right now, knock on wood. So anyway, a nice little blanket in the garden, which I think is fine because we are not guaranteed snow cover like we used to be. So some of the hydrangeas are looking real sad. This is tough stuff. This is what they all look like, kind of. We are going to get chimney fixed, and he has to work around the tough stuff, hydrangeas. We have some sort of leaking, which is why, like, we've had it fixed. I think this will be number 5, about the 5th time in 13 years that we've had that done, and maybe the 5th time will be the charm, because we keep ruining the drywall in our living room, so that's fun. I will say the Navajo Princess Mangave is completely untouched, and we've been down into the 20s. So pretty amazing so far. These guys, I think, are towards the end of their life. I think they were thinking about putting up flowers probably, which means they're basically towards the end of their life. And I just had nowhere to store them. So they're staying in the ground, and I figured we'll just, whatever, it's an experiment, see how they do. I don't have any expectation that they'll overwinter, but you never know. This Samsonia, this is String Theory, still looking great. But yeah, I won't be doing anything else in the garden in terms of cutting things back or cleaning things up. This is all going to be left to stand the way you see it now, which is great because I don't want to do anything more in the garden. With the exception of, I should probably get rid of some of the hosta foliage. If we get a warm day and I feel like working in the garden, I'll do that, but otherwise I'm not going to sweat it. We have moved all the hoses and stuff inside. Don't forget to do that, you guys. That really stinks when you blow up hoses and hose things. I probably should empty this pot because that pot will probably not overwinter well on the ground. That should get done. That's actually a nice pot too, so we need to do that. This was where I had the Plectranthus Mona Purple Magic, something like that, and some Impatience. It was beautiful. I love, and Transcantia was in there. I loved it. It was absolutely beautiful. But I should clean that out and save that pot. This garden is such a mess. I showed you this last time too. It's really, really, actually, it kind of bothers me. It's so messy. That one I might, if I clean up anything, it might be that one. And then amazingly, look at, I mean, this just amazes me. Look at the European hornbeams over here. They have not even changed color yet. I got to tell you, I mean, the American hornbeams were the first things to start turning color and the first things to lose their leaves. But the European hornbeams, now they are getting eaten. I got to get out here with deer spray. Maybe even fence this a little bit so we can get some growth at the bottom here. They don't come down here. They just go over there. But boy, I mean, this is virtually evergreen, I would say. That's pretty amazing, actually. I always like to make notes of those things because it's always nice to know like what things look good when everything else is not looking good. And not that everything is looking bad yet, but I will say that those hornbeams are pretty amazing. Same goes for the Heptacodium. It hasn't really, those leaves are still hanging in there, still yellow. Haven't lost a lot of them, a few, but may it winter well. And the Dervilla over here, still looking pretty good, but that will definitely be barren soon, I would think. And this is really interesting. This Cornus moss, also really still very green. The other one at the end of the road is completely leafless now. Huh, very interesting. And of course here we've got these beautiful soft serve Chamaecyparis. Hey, speaking of that, these are trees that I talked about on the Garden Mixer podcast. The latest episode is up on Apple Podcast, all the podcast places, and YouTube, and I just had the best time with those girls. Leslie and Marianne are just an absolute hoot, and anytime, this I think my second time on there, and then I was on Leslie's podcast once before when she was doing it by herself, and I just have the best time with them. Anytime I can go on that podcast, I'm more than happy to, because I just think it's just a good old time. So check that out if you need something to listen to or watch today. The monk's hood is pretty much toasted here, as actually everything is pretty much toasted. Last week I showed you the beautiful color on the epimediums. still looking good. Someone should clean. Look at this. I had put some Fatsetera, Angiostar Fatsetera in here, and it was pointing upward, but it's, look at, that's hardier than I thought it was. Untouched, and these things have not been watered for a long time, so they're not getting any help from me. I think that's all there is to show you guys. That's pretty much it. So the main thing, here's the takeaways from today. We're done cleaning up the garden. What you see is what you get. I'm totally fine with this. I know that this would not be okay with some people. You just got to do what's right in your garden. Do what makes you happy. What makes me happy, look at how good the geranium macrorhizum is still looking. What makes me happy is not cleaning up the garden right now. The other thing, in addition to the fact that I just don't want to do it and I've got other things I need to be doing in the garden, you know, I'm way more enthusiastic about it in spring than I am in fall. I mean, in spring, I'll do any job. I don't care what job it is. I'm just happy to be out there. In fall, I'm like, well, kind of over it, you know. Flowerful hydrangeas. That's 1 year in the ground on those. Pretty happy with them. Interesting that the foliage is still looking good. Oh well. Okay. Oh, and these pots, these boxwood pots will get moved into the garage whenever I borrow the hand truck from work twice a year. So these will all get moved into the garage soon, either today or next weekend probably. So that's where those will spend. And that's more an issue of protecting the pots, which are not frost-proof pots, than it is about protecting the boxwoods, although I do think it helps the boxwoods a bit. And Feather Falls Carex, still looking quite good there. And these gardenias, Castle Spire Gardenia, White Spire Gardenia, something Spire Gardenia. All right, gang, that is it for today's garden stroll. Hey, once again, thank you for watching these, for supporting the channel, for watching the other videos. I love you guys. You guys are the best. You're just the absolute best, and I so appreciate it. So thank you. Have a great day in your garden. Hope you, or if you're not in your garden, doing whatever you're going to do. What should we do? Should we do something for Thanksgiving? I don't know. Maybe I should do like a special Thanksgiving. Well, so we'll see. I'm in charge of, we all bring stuff, which I think is pretty normal and nice. I'm in charge of pies and creamed onions, which is a family favorite that a lot of people think is super weird, but they're very good and very rich. And who doesn't need more beige, rich food at Thanksgiving? The pies this year are going to be walnut maple bourbon, which is a huge improvement on pecan pie, in my opinion, because it's not as sweet as pecan pie. And I made that one for several years. And then probably an apple. We've got some apple pie fans. We only really have 1 or 2 people in the family who really like a pumpkin pie, and I detest pumpkin pie, so I don't make them. I don't care if someone wants to bring one, that's fine. I'm just not going to make one. So we don't have pumpkin pie. And if I'm in charge of the pies, well, that's how it works. All right. Thanks for watching, you guys. Have a good day. We'll see you soon. Bye.